Hello, hello. Good morning to everybody. And once again, welcome to Coach Steele's Finance Training. Happy to have you all tuning in. So, as you come in the room, you already know the deal, you know what to do. But once again, welcome to Coach Steele's Finance Training. And I am your host today. I am Coach Steele. And so, as we have a beautiful topic on today, if it is your first time to Coach Steele's Finance Training, just know we talk about all things financial literacy. We talk about different topics, you name it. We probably talked about it and discussed it. So as you're tuning in, make sure you go to the YouTube channel and subscribe to Coach Steele's Finance Training. We are growing a great community where we make the conversation about financial literacy normal, but also we share with one another. We want to fellowship and share with one another about these conversations. We have a great topic on today, and I want to dive right into it. And that topic is surviving furloughs and layoffs. And so, why do I like the fact we have a great community here on Coach Steele's Finance Training? Is because you want community during difficult times and you want community during great times. And so when we talk about surviving furloughs and layoffs and people being fired and the different things that are going on in today's economy, real-time situation and scenarios, you'll find that as you have been tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training, there are certain things that I've been talking about, topics I have been discussing that lead up to the current situation that we find ourselves in. And so what you'll find is many times the things I talk about here in Coach Steele's Finance Training is to prepare you and set you up for success for times such as this. Good morning to you, Mr. Tony Sherman, as you're tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. Happy to have you tuning in. And so I cannot wait to hear some of your thoughts, some of your concerns. And this is a great opportunity today to give someone else guidance and advice on how to survive or maintain through a furlough, a layoff, or being fired. Many of you that are listening, you've probably dealt with furloughs before in your life. You've probably dealt with being laid off or potentially dealt with being fired. And so because of those life experiences, it gives us a platform to share and encourage other people that are going through these situations and scenarios right now. Now, here on Coach Steele's Finance Training, as we get ready to dive into this subject of surviving furloughs and layoffs or people being fired, you have to remember many times here on Coach Steele's Finance Training, I emphasize and I talk about the point of getting part-time jobs or getting an extra job that you do on the side, initiating and starting the opportunity to dive into entrepreneurship, starting your own businesses, and also creating passive income for yourself. Why does Coach Steele discuss these things all the time? Because of moments like this. Because I truly desire to see people be financially independent and free. And so I speak on my life experiences and the things that I've studied, I researched, and put my hand to try to help motivate and inspire other people to reach those same goals or potentially higher heights. And so thank you for tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training as we talk about surviving furloughs and layoffs. And as you're coming into the room, make sure you send a message, make sure you tell me good morning, leave a comment as you dive into the room, into this conversation about surviving furloughs and layoffs. I'm interested in your thoughts and your comments when it comes to that. So when we talk about this and what people are going through, basically the government, or whether you deal with Congress, Senate, president, all of these people in high positions are at a stalemate trying to decide on what they're going to allow people to do, what they aren't going to allow people to do, SNAP benefits, whether or not you can go back to work, whether you have to work but not get paid. All of these scenarios are going on in different people's houses. And guess what? And as y'all are tuning in, make sure you share this live. It's going to help other people on today. As they're taking their time to decide these things, they're still getting paid. They're still getting income. They still have other avenues to take care of their family while they sit back and take time to decide on whether or not someone can pay their bills or not. So as y'all are tuning in, just keep in mind the people that are deciding and controlling who's laid off, who's fired, who gets furloughed, who gets benefits. They still get to eat comfortably. and they've put themselves in a position of power and control. And what I'm telling you all is we have to take on that same mindset and put yourself in a position of power and control to control your destiny, your financial habits, and the financial success you have in life. We have to take action and make wise financial decisions starting today, starting yesterday, starting tomorrow, to position ourselves that when government makes certain decisions, it doesn't affect you with the same impact if you have not prepared at all. So, what's one of the first things you can do when you talk about surviving or dealing with furloughs or layoffs or being fired? Step number one, I want to tell everyone on today, you have to be calm and assess the situation. And we'll deal with some of the other financial strategies that you can take with dealing with furloughs and layoffs. But first and foremost, I want to tell everyone that you have to start off by being calm and assess your situation. Now, one of the comments we see on Facebook is Tony Sherman says, go vote. Now, that is definitely something else you can do, because who you vote for can help determine a lot of things locally. And of course, as far as on a state level, locally, eventually, of course, voting, on a government level, a lot of that, who you vote for will dictate, future events that are to come. Now, one of the first things I tell you to do is stay calm and assess the situation. If you're dealing with furloughs or potentially being furloughed or laid off or fired, you got to stay calm and assess the situation. Because if you panic, if you get yourself in such a state emotionally, psychologically, you won't be able to think through those moments. So you have to take a breath. It's emotional, but panic can cloud your decision making and what steps you'll take next. Make sure you share this live, because we're trying to help people and give people great advice, financial advice and guidance on what to do if they're dealing with furloughs, being laid off or fired on today. And so you have to get clarity as well. One thing, whether you're dealing with these furloughs and layoffs, is get clarity. Is it a temporary furlough and a return is expected, or is it a permanent layoff? Now that's going to put you in a situation to make other decisions. Is it temporary or is it permanent? And so make sure you get all those details from whoever you need to get them from, and potentially be able to get those details in writing. Is it severance pay involved? Do you still have benefits? Is this going to be your last paycheck? Are you able to use vacation payout? All of these different scenarios come into play when you decide what you're going to do next. But the first thing that you want to do, whether you're dealing with furloughs or layoffs or being fired, is stay calm and assess the situation. Step number two. Let's deal with step number two here. As y'all are tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training, I am live on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Of course, I am live as well on TikTok. But if you are watching on TikTok, make sure you take time and go subscribe to the YouTube channel, Coach Steele's Finance Training. Step number two, secure immediate financial stability. What does that mean, to secure immediate financial stability? In other words, we got to start taking steps and actions, plans to make sure that we are financially stable. So what are some of those steps? If you know you've been laid off and you don't know if it's permanent, if you don't know if it's short term, guess what? I need you all to start looking at your budget. I need you to immediately start looking at what you have coming in, what you have going out, and then cut non-essential spending. In that comment section, I need you all to write cut non-essential spending. And what is non-essential spending? In that comment section, write some things that are non-essential, things that are not needed, things that are not required for you to maintain yourself. Keep in mind, if you've been furloughed or laid off, there's certain things you just need to cut off, because you need that money. You need that income. You need those funds long term. Some of the short-term things that make us feel good, some of the short-term things that we spend money on that are reoccurring and costing you every month, it's not worth it in these moments. You can always go back and pick those things up later. And so what are some non-essential spending items? I need you all to write it in the comment section. And so One of the things I would tell you all is pause subscriptions. What are some of those subscriptions that you can pause? See, in our society in America today, everybody is subscribed to about 4 or 5 different things. And we've been subscribed to them so long that you actually forget about certain subscriptions. And you have so many subscriptions scattered all over the place. Some of them are coming naturally, being paid, auto paid out of your checking account. Some are being auto paid off credit cards. They're all over the place. And so you're spending hundreds of dollars on subscriptions every month. And in a furlough or layoff or being fired, immediately go pause those subscriptions. So I would say some of the subscriptions you can pause: Hulu, Netflix. If you got cable and you're paying a cable bill right now, you've been furloughed or laid off, and this is what I'm saying for immediate survival. There are some people who have a 6 month to a year emergency fund that they've created for themselves. They may not rush to cancel subscriptions, right? So I'm talking to people who may be in a little more difficult situation than that. Then I would go pause those subscriptions. Good morning to you, Tarsha Smith. Happy to have you tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. So if you're dealing with a furlough or layoff, I want to hear your thoughts and comments. Are you pausing these subscriptions? Have you thought about it? Have you gone through your budget to see some of the things that you need to eliminate out of your budget temporarily until you have time to get things back on track? Let's see what else we have here. What other subscriptions? We got Tony Sherman. He says entertainment, movie going, eating out, clubbing, all of those things should be at a pause so that you can maintain yourself. Never overestimate or underestimate what the government may do, how long they may take to come to a decision. You have to be in control of your destiny and what's going on. So yes, pause those subscriptions: Netflix, Hulu, cable. I know in some areas it's getting cold, and some of you may have gym memberships. You may have to pause that gym membership and work out at the house in a certain room, in a certain environment, and be creative with what you're going to do at the house. If you don't have weights, you might have to get some buckets and put some stuff in it and carry that. Be creative in these moments. Pause those subscriptions so that you can keep as much money in-house and not have going out during the time of a furlough or being laid off or fired. This works for people who want to find money to invest. Let's say you're not laid off or fired, but you don't have your emergency fund set up yet. You can take these same principles and fundamentals to build up your emergency fund just in case this may happen in the future. We don't know what may happen tomorrow. You may have a secure job, but the company may fail or anything can happen. You need to start creating that emergency fund so you have access to extra liquidity in case something is to happen. So the dining out and the luxury purchases we have to do away with. And so what you need to do next, when we talk about secure, immediate financial stability, that's what we're on right now. Step number 2, which is secure, immediate financial stability. Another part of that is prioritizing essentials. What do I mean by prioritizing your essentials? Those are those things that are necessary in life, ladies and gentlemen, as you're tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. You need to know those needs. That's what I call those. Those are needs in your life. You have to prioritize essentials. That's your rent/mortgage, which means your shelter, food, utilities, and sometimes I would call transportation/insurance. You still want to, if possible, to leave insurance on your assets/liabilities so that you're covered in case of an emergency or a natural disaster or something like that. So I would make sure that you prioritize those essentials: rent, mortgage, food, utilities, insurance. Those things are vital. Those things are important. Good morning. I see you tuning in. Yvette Steele, happy to have you tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. We're talking about what do you do with during a furlough, during a layoff, being fired? How do we build up our emergency fund, or how do we maintain ourselves in these emergencies that are happening? And so you got to prioritize your essentials. And you have to adjust. And what I would call is make sure you adjust and have a survival budget for 3 to 6 months of expenses. That's what I want you all to do, especially if you're dealing with these situations. And if you're not dealing with the furlough, if you're not dealing with being fired, I still want you to take this advice. If you have not yet set up a solid budget and you don't have an emergency fund or what we call a survival budget, you want to build / adjust a survival budget for 3 to 6 months of expenses. In other words, if all else fails, I can take care of the necessities and not lose my house, not lose my car, not be in the dark. It is very cold. See, what's happening right now is very dangerous because you have so many people, thousands of people that have lost their jobs, thousands of people that have been furloughed or laid off. And this is during the winter season. And so it's very cold outside in many parts of America. And so the last thing you want to do is go without utilities. You don't want to be in the cold. Homeless people that are living on the streets, this is a difficult time for them because that cold weather can take you out of here. And so you want to make sure that you prioritize and have enough to be able to maintain yourself and pay those necessities. And so if you need to, here's some more advice. Make sure you contact lenders, service providers. Many offer hardship programs. And so I want you to do your research and homework. And there's two parts to this, right? So when you contact lenders and service providers and see if they have hardship programs, there may be, whether it's the electric company or let's say it's your landlord or the mortgage company, when you contact them, they may be able to give you some leeway or some relief to help you during these situations or adjust your payments so that you don't miss a payment so it doesn't affect your credit score. You have to be very creative in these moments right now to sustain and maintain your financial stability. So make sure you contact lenders and service providers and see if they have hardship programs. Now, when you do ask them about the hardship programs, also check on the consequences or what happens if you do. And depending on what field you're in, like me, I'm in real estate investing. So many times your credit score or when you're applying to qualify for other benefits, mortgages, different things like that, you want to make sure that whatever move you make, it doesn't hinder you in the future. So also do your research on the pros and cons of whatever program hardship benefits that you take in that moment. Good morning to you. Happy to have you tuning in, Kashana Johnson, and also Miss Shirley Frazier. Thank you very much. Happy to have you tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. We are live on YouTube, Coach Steele's Finance Training. Make sure you subscribe. Now, we talked about step number 2, but let's deal with step number 3. So I talked about some people that don't have an emergency fund and why it's important that they really find out what the necessities are, what they need, how they need to start cutting off subscriptions. If there is something that is not a necessity, it's not required for me to live, breathe, maintain myself, keep my life, I'm getting rid of it in these moments so that I can sustain myself. All of these doodads and things that you don't really need, you can always get them back later after you get yourself back stable. Now, step number 3 is tap emergency and backup funds wisely. When you start tapping into your emergency funds, your backup funds, make sure you do it wisely. You know, some people may say, oh, well, this may only last 2 more weeks, or they may take care of this tomorrow, next week, 2 weeks from now. You don't know. You might have to tap into that emergency fund for a month, 2 months. You never know what it is. And so use emergency savings before taking on high interest debt. So make sure you tap into your emergency funds wisely. And I would say if you don't have to, and you do have emergency funds, use those as opposed to rushing to charge up a credit card. So that's something I want you all to think about. Use your emergency savings before taking on high interest debt, which are basically credit cards. During this time frame, some people may not have liquidity, some people may have cash, emergency funds. Some people who don't, they're going to immediately rush to using their credit card during these times. And the danger of that is you never know when a furlough or a layoff may end or when you may have access to funds again. And some people say Murphy's Law, but at the end of the day, other things can happen to where you tap that credit card so many times you have maxed it out. And now that the credit card is going to get maxed out, guess what? It's going to affect your credit score because of your utilization rate. And so during a furlough or layoff, try your best to not max out that credit card and mess up your credit score. You're already dealing with a furlough. You don't want to create another financial problem that you have to deal with. Because now when the furlough and everything is over with and you want to maneuver in that financial space, if your credit score is messed up, it may affect on how quick you can maneuver and make other adjustments. And this is why many times when it comes to the financial world, I try to teach people about using the HELOC strategy to paying off their mortgage at an accelerated rate at a faster pace. If you're interested in learning about the HELOC strategy and paying off your mortgage super fast at an accelerated rate, so you're not paying on a mortgage for 30 years, and the bank is taking interest from you for 30 years and you're basically paying for that house at least 2 times, especially with these interest rates and where they are today, make sure you leave a comment and I will send you a link. That way you can get more information on how to pay off your mortgage in potentially 5 to 7 years. Now, if you only got 20 years left on your mortgage and you don't have 30 years left, maybe you'll pay it off even sooner than that. But just keep that in mind. And the benefit of using the HELOC strategy in these moments is if you pay your mortgage off fast and things like this happen, you have extra cash flow left over for you to start investing. Or when things like this happen, now that's one less headache that you have to worry about and overhead during an emergency. All right. So make sure you use emergency savings before you rush to max out that credit card. Consider unemployment benefits and apply immediately if you need to. Do not be ashamed. In these seasons and moments, sometimes people allow pride to get in their way. Men, especially, don't allow pride to get in your way if you are having financial problems. Consider unemployment benefits, apply immediately. Delays are common, but at least you know on the back end you'll have something coming. If it takes a month for it to come, 2 months for it to come, guess what? You have an emergency fund. You can use that during that time frame if you have that in place. Then when that unemployment money comes, you can replace what you had to spend or pay that credit card off if you had to use it and be able to maintain your credit score. So consider all options. Don't let pride get in the way. Check eligibility for government relief, aid programs. Of course, SNAP is an option, but I think they're putting a stop to that now. Housing assistance, check all options available. Now, step number 4, ladies and gentlemen, this is important. And I think this is very, very underrated that I'm going to share with you. Step number 4, whether you're dealing with a furlough or a layoff, I think you should do this regardless. Find short-term income streams. What does that mean? How can you find short-term income streams? You can freelance, consult using your existing skills. What you are good at, in some things you may not be as good at. You never know. I don't care if it's washing windows of a business, washing a car, cutting grass, raking up leaves. In some areas so cold they don't need grass cut right now, but they might need some leaves raked up. Raking leaves, babysitting, you name it, freelance. Find some part-time work, something you can do on the side. And here at Coach Steele's Finance Training, you know you can blow up that comment section. In that comment section, what are some short-term income streams, some things, some jobs that you can do on the side to make some extra money? Fill up that comment section. Let's see what we have here. Happy to have you tuning in, Mr. Mickey. to Coach Steele's finance training. Make sure you find some things that you can do short term. Ah, nice, nice. Dumpster rental. That's another way to make some money on the side, create a business with dumpster rental. I like that as well. We'll have to do an interview about that. You can share more details about that. And we're talking about surviving furloughs and layoffs. So we can freelance. You can offer services on platforms like Fiverr, Upwork, TaskRabbit, and some people do other creative things. There's another platform. I know what it is. It's called Canva. You never know what services somebody else may need. Take those skills, those talents, those abilities you have during this time frame and make some extra money. Many people that listen to Coach Steele's finance training, a lot of my subscribers on the YouTube channel, most of us are entrepreneurs or business owners. So it's pretty cool because even as Kashana Johnson tuned in, she does a number of things, but one of the cool things that she does is she makes these Camo Chronicles jackets, and so she takes those camo jackets and designs them, tailor makes them for her clients. Another person that was tuned in on Coach Steele's finance training that said good morning to us, Miss Shirley Frazier. She designs and is very creative with shirts and other things as well. And she actually just made me at least 3 work shirts that I wanted for the ministry that I'm involved in. And so we got Tony Sherman tuned in. He said you can do babysitting. And of course, Tony Sherman, he's a real estate investor as well, has passive income coming in for himself. Mr. Mickey is a man of many trades. He puts cleaning services is amazing. And so he has multiple businesses as well. CEO, the president that he does that creates passive income for himself as well. So we have a community of people here at Coach Steele's Finance Training that we don't just research or think about it. We take action. And that's why it's important that you subscribe to this YouTube channel and make sure you are around like-minded people that are doing those things that you desire to do or you want to elevate to another level. Guess what? Here's another thing you can do during a furlough. You can sell unused items or monetize hobbies. Guess what? Some of you are great tutors, and children need tutors, especially for math and especially for writing. You can do content creation. You can do delivery work. You can do Uber, you name it. Find yourself something to do to make some extra money during this time. You do not have to wallow in the mud. You don't have to hang your head. What was the first thing I told you to do? Stay calm and assess the situation. That was step number 1. And so as you all continue, you're welcome, Miss Shirley Frazier. Those shirts that you made me look beautiful. I got to get some more. I'm going to think of what other colors I want, and I'll connect with you on that as well. Kashana Johnson says, subscribe. And thank you as well, because you actually made my family some Christmas shirts this past Christmas. We were all twinning, looking alike as well. Mickey says medical courier. Yes, you could be a medical courier, or you can get the truck, the vehicle, and let somebody else use the vehicle. And essentially they're renting your vehicle to make money. So there's so many creative things that you can do in this space, but don't neglect being able to sell unused items. So back in my day, we basically called that yard sale or garage sale. This is a great time, especially if you're not working or you have free time. Clean up your house, do some spring cleaning in the winter. Find all of those things that you don't need, that are nice, that are serviceable, but somebody else can use. Guess what? Get out there in that front yard and do a yard sale. And then if you want to be real creative and take it up a whole nother level, guess what you can do? Let some other people know, hey, I'm doing a yard sale. I'm going to do the advertising. Y'all can use my space, my yard. Let's do this together. And I don't know, y'all give me $2 a piece, $5 a piece to use my space. I don't want any of your profits. Just give me this amount. And guess what? You got some extra change. You got some gas money for the week. And so Another thing I will tell you all, besides just, doing a yard sale or things like that, Kashana Johnson said, one man's junk is another man's treasure. That's it. You're looking at some of the things that you all have, and you would think that it's not profitable and you're not doing anything with it. Somebody else would love to have it and would be willing to pay you. And guess what? Some things you can always get back later. So don't get caught up and so sentimental that you allow yourself to starve or your family to go without because you're caught up over sentimental things. And so another thing I would tell you all is I would cut back on going out to eat. That's one thing I would definitely do. I am not going to go spend a bunch of money at certain fast food restaurants. I would go to that grocery store and I would get with someone who knows the coupon game. And I would start being creative with couponing right now because I want to find some groceries that I don't have to pay either anything for or not much at all. And so make sure you get a hold of that coupon game and apply some of those coupon game principles so that you can get groceries and learn how to make meals that stretch. Learn how to make meals that'll last you a long time. You better get you some rice because anytime you get yourself some rice, you make a big pot of rice, make it stretch. You can throw anything in the rice and make it stretch. You can throw some lima beans in the rice. It's going to do what? If in that comment section, just say it's going to stretch. You can get some chicken, cut that chicken up. Now you got some rice and chicken. Season that thing up just right. It will stretch. It'll last you a couple of days. Mickey says, junk removal is my game. I love junk removal. And so that's just another one of his businesses. And so he puts, and others people's junk. Trash business is recession proof. And that's awesome too, because in the fact of he has a junk removal business. And so him and his brother are in business. They have trucks. They go around, they do the junk removal and things like that, clearing out houses. Guess what? You're going to find things that potentially look like trash, but they are also treasure. So in one business, his business creates another business. So in junk removal, moving some of that stuff is still serviceable. And so now you can sell off some of that stuff and make some more money. So many times as you all are being creative, you're going to start one business that will help create another stream for another business. And so that's how you have to be creative in your space. All of my creatives that are tuning in on today, keep in mind, sometimes you're going to start one business. And so that one business has one flow. But because that flow is so strong, you're going to find other opportunities in the outskirts of that flow that may lead off to another stream. And then another way to make some more money and to do partnerships over here. And so to invest in this over here. And so that's the benefit and the power of having these multiple streams during moments like this of furloughs and layoffs. And if you don't have these things set up yet, guess what? You can start working on them now. If you are laid off, if you have a furlough, you got fired, now is one of the best times to start being creative and say, you know what? Yes, I'm going to job hunt. Yes, I'm going to try to find another job, but I'm going to use some of this free time to figure out how to put myself in a better situation. How can I start a business? How can I start a job? How can I start making some extra money? So Kashana says, some fast food is trash. It's not the same anymore. It is not the same. And so Mickey says, stretch. You have to figure out how to make it stretch. What's another meal that you all can make stretch? Help somebody on today, ladies and gentlemen. This is an opportunity where you have other eyes and ears that are listening to Coach Steele's Finance Training, whether on the YouTube channel, Facebook, or TikTok. You can give someone else advice on how to help them during these seasons. I know another one, spaghetti. Spaghetti is another one. Thank you, Markeisha. I see your comment in there. Spaghetti is another meal that you can make a big pot of, and it will what? It will stretch out. Yes. And so y'all are hitting this comment section up pretty quick. I got to stay on my toes. And so we got Markeisha took she said tacos/stew. Yes, that stew will stretch out. That stew will last you a minute. I love making soup. I love making soup because you can make a big pot of soup. It'll last you the week. And during seasons like this, it's nice and warm to the body with all that cold air out there. My Keisha, this used to be one of my favorites. That was my struggle. Like, I used to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every single day. Ooh, I see y'all tearing that comment section up. I can't keep up with y'all today. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for me every day. It was cheap. It was affordable. Go get some bread, peanut butter, jelly. I used to do double deckers too. I would stack them up, and they fill you up. They hold you for a while. Plus, I love peanut butter. I'm addicted to peanut butter. So there's some other good meals here. Chili. I see Tasha Smith saying that you can make some chili, and so y'all are making me hungry. I'm about to go eat some. My goodness. I don't know how to spell it either, Makisha frittata. I think that's how you spell it. I'm not sure either. And so that sounds like, ooh, Dad used to do bread and butter with some sugar. Now, one thing we used to toast the bread a little bit, then put it in the oven with the butter, and then we would sprinkle some cinnamon and sugar on it, and we would do that for certain meals to make us feel special, like we was doing something. And so as y'all are tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training, you see how everybody is just doing an awesome job of sharing some of their ideas. And I appreciate y'all as y'all are tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. I got one or two more points for you all, and we're going to get out of the way. And as y'all are tuning in, my Keisha Wolf, she's one of the people that support Coach Steele's Finance Training. And I actually have an interview that is out right now. I did an interview with her on her podcast / YouTube channel as well. And so y'all go check out that interview I just did with her. It aired this morning at 5 a.m. So while I was on my morning walk, doing my cold 10-mile walk, I was listening to the interview and I just enjoyed it. But her podcast is called The Cool of the Day Podcast. The Cool of the Day. And so what are the initials for that? Let's see if I can write it down. Well, you all know it. The Cool of the Day Podcast. So make sure you go check that out. I'll post it on my Facebook page as well. So if you need to find it. All right. So I need to get to these next points. Makisha also said gumbo. Tony Sherman said spaghetti. I think I posted that one already. Yes, Mr. Tony Sherman. That banana sandwich, that definitely worked too. Did that. And Kashana Johnson is talking about the interview I did. And awesome. Makisha just helped me out. She posted the link right there. So y'all can make sure y'all catch that out check that out after Coach Steele's Finance Training. Okay. Number 5 is important, guys. Extremely important. During furloughs, being laid off, or potentially getting laid off, tired of your job, you want to see better for yourself. Now is the perfect time to invest in self-development. Oh, what does that mean? What are some things you can do to invest in your self-development? What are some things you can do to invest in self-development? Come on, let's blow up that comment section. Help somebody on today. When we talk about investing in your self-development, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about learn new, in-demand skills. There's so much going on right now. You can learn AI, data analysis, project management, go get certifications that are potentially free. Start improving your skill sets. You may want to work on your communication skills. You may decide to start a YouTube channel, not because you want 10,000 viewers, but because you want to work on your communication skills. And so, nice one, Mr. Tony Sherman. He says, read wealth books. That's a great suggestion. That's something that I like doing. I like reading wealth books, books about financial literacy. Awesome. Makisha, she puts, read the Word of God. Read lots of books dealing with mental, emotional intelligence. Yes, That's another good thing. You can improve your emotional intelligence. Some people can't get in certain rooms or environments or opportunities because their emotional intelligence is not where it needs to be. So people would rather not deal with until you improve. And if you are open to learning, if you are open to improving yourself, then you'll find people that don't mind coaching you and helping you. And Makisha also puts learn Canva for free. You learn how to use Canva. There will be someone out there who will pay you who doesn't have time to learn Canva or just doesn't want to learn it, like me. So let's go a little bit further. And I already mentioned earn online, earn certifications or take free online courses. Do some research. If you don't know courses and certifications that are out there, do some research and find them. Now, of course, if you do have a job and your finances are free and available, then even if it's not free, but it's going to improve you and it's going to beef up your resume, then go take those classes anyway. Invest in yourself. Makisha says, go to events such as Deck the Halls, Not Your Debt event November 8th at 2 p.m. via Zoom. I like that. That was nice. Be creative. Go market yourself, ladies and gentlemen. And so you want to be able to update your resume, your LinkedIn, and your portfolio immediately. You really want to be able to put yourself in a better situation and make yourself more marketable during times like this. Because if multiple people, thousands of people are being laid off because the government is doing whatever they're doing, that means everyone's trying to update their resume and go job hunt. So what can you do to make yourself stand out from the pack? What can you do? So there are some things we can do personally and internally, like we talked about in those first few steps. Remain calm, assess the situation, only spend money on needs, get rid of subscriptions, eliminate wants and things temporarily. We can always go get those things back later, but make sure you update your resume. Be creative. Learn how to use ChatGPT, how to invest in yourself. And so you can be very, very wise during these difficult times. And that's why we as a community, I open it up for those comments and those chats so that you can tell and share your thoughts and your comments with other people. And so one of the things you can also do during this time is go look for events, which is basically number 6 that I had on my list. I want you all to be able to network and reconnect. As you network, building relationships and bonds, you never know what may come from it. One of the reasons how I met Keisha is through going to an event. An event was I Pray, Plan, Execute that was hosted by Takara Nicole, Pastor Takara Nicole. And through that bond and relationship that I had there, going to an event, and I was one of the panelists, and I was talking to the people there about financial literacy, and I was answering questions. And so as we networked through that event, Keisha met me there. Because my Keisha met me there at I Pray, Plan, Execute, next thing you know, I'm on her podcast, and we're talking about the Word of God at the Cool of the Day podcast. We're talking about financial literacy and biblical principles concerning our finances. And so now we have created content through all of that. And so when you go to those events, don't be afraid to ask questions, talk to people, get out of that, that introvert mentality as well. Mr. Mickey says, learn AI, learn AI. Mickey is big on AI, and so he is taking time to learn how to improve himself and his skill set through learning how to use AI, and I'm impressed by it. And of course, eventually I'll have to get a class from him, and if I need to pay him, I will as well, because I respect his time, his energy, and his education. And so Makisha is kind of really going back on what I said in step number 1, when she says this is time to do a self-evaluation, stay calm and assess the situation, but also remember to assess yourself. How can you improve you during this time frame? And so that's what we're dealing with when we say number 6 is network and reconnect, and tell your professional network you're open to opportunities. And this is so good. This is so good because you have to get out of your comfort zone. Open yourself up. Men, don't let pride get in the way right now. Tell your professional network you're open to opportunities. Attend online meetups, industry events, or webinars. If you have that free time, go. You have nothing to lose. I love the story in the Bible where it talks about these lepers that were sitting outside of the city, and they basically were going to starve. And they were afraid to go into the city because they were worried about what was going to happen, if they were going to get killed, if they were going to get punished, if there were going to be consequences. But if they stayed outside the city, they were going to die anyway because they didn't have access to resources or food. And one of them basically realized, you know what do we have to lose? If we stay here, we're going to die. Some of you have to realize you have nothing to lose. So guess what? Go out, venture out, try new things. Don't be afraid to tap into new people, new environments. Open yourself up to learn. Keisha says, God has given us the resources. We just need to use what he has given us. I just preached a sermon about, I think it was last month, and the title of it was Work With What You Got. God gives you talents and resources. Work with what you got. Don't put them in a hole and bury them. And so you can't underestimate referrals. Most hires happen through connections. So you can't get frustrated if you don't try to use connections. Now is a time where you have to put pride to the side and work with what you got. And number 7, I want you all to consider your long-term financial adjustments. This should show you right now some of the things we talk about here at Coach Steele's Finance Training. You should start making long-term financial adjustments. How can I put myself in a position of power where this cannot happen to me again on the same level? You should want to be in a position of power financially where you are in control of your situation. And so I talk to you all about this almost every week on Coach Steele's Finance Training, which is build multiple income streams, side businesses, investing, rental income. I also talk to you all about dividend stocks. I was out on my morning walk this morning and I got a ding on my phone. What was that ding from? One of my dividends, one of my stocks made some money. I got a dividend. And so I got a ding that showed me how much extra money. Now, of course, I'm not in a situation of emergency. So anytime my dividend stocks give me a dividend, whether it's $5, whether it's $1, I don't care if it's 2 cents, I always reinvest the dividend back into the portfolio because now I don't have to necessarily use my 9-to-5 income to build my portfolio. I let the profits from the dividends reinvest and buy me more shares in those companies. And I'm making my money multitask, letting my money work for me. But if I had an emergency, furlough, layoff, fired, I can take those dividends and go buy me a loaf of bread. I can take those dividends and put some gas in the car. And so I'm being creative with my finances. So I'm telling you all to consider long-term financial adjustments. I've shared my dividend stock portfolio with you all. You can see it's not a large amount that I put in every month. I put in a small amount every month. I'm DCAing. In that comment section, just put DCA. I wonder if anybody knows what DCA means. Does anybody know what DCA means when it comes to investing in the stock market? Oh, yep. Coach Steele, Finance Training. I'm giving you all a quiz, on the spot quiz. Does anybody know what DCA means? I am DCAing into my dividend stock portfolio. You can DCA into, you can DCA in your, basically your 401ks, your IRAs, your ETFs. You can DCA into anything. Does anybody know what that means? And so while I wait for someone to tell me what DCA means, you're going to learn today. I will also give you some other solid advice. Reassess your emergency fund goal. Aim for 6 to 12 months. That's a lot. I don't know if I would do 12 months. I don't even know if I'll do 6 months, but my mentality is a little different. I like investing in real estate. Diversify your investments to hedge against future instability. Nothing wrong with having 12 months of emergency fund or 6 months. I would rather take a lot of that liquidity and put it in an asset that's going to pay me monthly anyway. So basically, I don't have to deplete my emergency fund. I just use the asset that's going to pay me monthly anyway. In the event that my 9 to 5 can't pay me, the asset will just pay me. And it will grow in value, and it will provide a tax shelter, and I can teach on it and make money off of it or monetize the whole ordeal. And so there's more ways to make money off of the liquidity if I have it invested, as opposed to having it sit somewhere where inflation will cancel out my profits in a regular savings account. So Mr. Tony Sherman is correct. Ding, ding, ding. He is the winner today. DCA is dollar cost averaging. So you can dollar cost average in your retirement accounts, in your ETFs, exchange traded funds, in your high yield interest, I'm sorry, not your high yield interest savings account, in your dividend stock portfolio as well. So that way you're not going up and down and trying to decide, oh, should I put anything in there this month or not? Set it and forget it. Put $25 in there every month. Put $10 in there every month. If you need a link to a website to set up a dividend stock portfolio, let me know. Put a message, and actually you can email me. That'd probably be the best way. Email me, coachsteelefinance@gmail.com. That way I won't forget, and I can get you taken care of. Reassess your emergency fund goals. And so we talked about that already. And let's go to number 8, the last thing here. I think I got rid of it. But let's see here. Let's get to number 8, the last thing, and I'm going to get out of your way. My Keisha kind of talked about this already. Appreciate y'all's patience as you're tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. We are almost done. It is 9:58. Usually I go to from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. Number 8, take care of your mental and physical health. Maintain a daily routine. Exercise, sleep, eat well, talk to friends, family, or counselor for emotional support. Remember, this is a temporary setback, not a permanent failure. Oh, that should right there give you confidence to know that trouble doesn't last always. And so, guys, as y'all are continue to tune in to Coach Steele's Finance Training, just remember a lot of this is temporary. Don't allow it to get the best of you. You can survive and thrive during these furloughs and these layoffs. Use the tools, the programs that are at your fingertips, your circle, network, communicate with people, be creative, go find extra ways to make jobs, do a yard sale, humble yourselves in these moments, and you will come out on top. I have confidence that each and every one of you can have success while you're dealing with these furloughs, layoffs, and being fired. Be encouraged. You don't have to give up. You don't have to quit. You don't have to throw in the towel. Be around people that will encourage you. If you need a good support system, find a good local church. Tomorrow is Sunday. Go to church tomorrow and enjoy yourself and continue to praise God, continue to give him the glory in spite of those situations. And so Mr. Mickey says, boss, be the boss of your money. The course is launching today. And so that's another system that you all can learn. Reach out to my guy, Mr. Mickey, also known as Debt Free Famous, and you can learn to be the boss of your money and participate in this course. And so we love creating what we call income stacking snowballs. And so when we do income stacking snowballs, Mickey and I, we learn how to create passive income for ourselves so that we can make money without having to bust a sweat. The money is going to come in every month like clockwork. So even in moments like this, if your job decides not to pay you from a layoff or a furlough or being fired, you have a snowball of income coming in. And so here on Coach Steele's Finance Training, I've talked to you all about knowing your financial freedom number and your financial freedom date, your FFN and your FFD. And when you know those financial freedom numbers, your financial freedom dates, the goals and the things that you want to accomplish when it comes to your finances, Mickey, you get with him He can help you develop a plan and a strategy to be able to accomplish those goals. And so those are some of the things that we like to do. If you need a financial coach, feel free to reach out to me. One, subscribe to Coach Steele's Finance Training. And two, you can go to my website and schedule an appointment with me. And three, you can also email me if you need to. CoachSteeleFinance@gmail.com. We can have a conversation, help you see if you can to help you see if you can reach your financial goals successfully. I appreciate everybody tuning in to Coach Steele's Finance Training. I've already did my 10-mile walk this morning. After y'all get off of here, you need to go to the Cool of the Day podcast with my Keisha Wolf. She left the link in the comment section. You all need to go there and catch that interview I did with her. I got a few more things I have to do this afternoon, and I will put some more content up throughout the week on the YouTube channel. I usually don't put it on the Facebook page during the week. It's usually on the YouTube channel. So make sure you go subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can catch all of that and you don't miss anything. You can go to my website and order a t-shirt, Make Money Multitask, beautiful t-shirt that just emphasizes what I preach on here all the time. And you all have a blessed